This problem and all other data structure problems can be found here at Sarai Studies. Link is in the description box below. Okay, this is honestly going to be the ultimate practice. If you can do this, you're fine. So you start with A, so that's done. Anytime you insert a node other than the first one, it has to be inserted with a red link. So B is after A, so it's going to be inserted to the right of A, and it's going to be like this. But then remember, we can only ever have left-leaning red links in red-black trees. Like this, not like this. And we would have to do one of our 3 transformations, either rotate left, rotate right, or recolor. In this case, I can't recolor because the only time you can recolor is if you have a triangle like this and both of the sides are red, only one are red. So we can't recolor, so it has to be a rotation. But which type of rotation? Are we rotating left or to the right? Well, think about it. If our goal is to only have left-leaning red links, and this is the right-leaning red link, then intuitively you want to make this left-leaning while still being connected to A and B. So the only way it can be left-leaning is if it's like this, and then B would have to be connected to that. Or another way to think about it is just rotate like this, and now it's a left-leaning red link. Beautiful. Now we have to insert C. So C is after B, so it's going to be inserted with the red link. So I guess rule number 2, I should specify, is to always insert with the red link. And remember, we cannot have right-leaning red links, but this is a special case because this is a triangle where the sides are both red. That's beautiful because then that means we can just shift the red up. We call that recoloring. So these become black, and since there's no link to make red over here where the red can shift to, then there's just nothing that happens. Then we have to insert D. So it's after C. Again, we can't have right-leaning red links. This is not a triangle, so I can't recolor, meaning I can only do the 2 rotations. How am I going to rotate this? Well, I just focused on the 2 nodes or keys that this red link is connecting. And remember, the goal is to have a left-leaning red link. So I just asked myself, well, how can I make this left-leaning? Well, this would be left-leaning if I just made it look like this. But it would still have to be connected to C and D, so then the D would have to be connected to it. So then the question is, how can I get from here to here? Well, I would have to rotate to the left. So that's exactly what I'll do. I'll just rotate to the left. But remember, I'm just focusing on this. Then I just have this by itself. Where is it going to go? D now is the parent. So based on D, D comes after B, so it goes over here. And then I want to insert E to the right. This is a triangle where both sides are red, so I can recolor by shifting the red up. So these become black, and then the red shifts up to this link, making it red. But this is still a problem because we can't have right-leaning red links. So how do we fix it? Well, it's not a triangle, so I can't recolor, so I have to do one of the rotations. Again, I only focus on the 2 keys that this red link is connecting. To make this a left-leaning link, well, it would have to look like this for it to be left-leaning, and it would still have to be connected to B and D. So it's already connected to B, so then the D would just go up here. So to go from here to here, I would have to rotate to the left because it's going in this direction. So rotate to the left to get it to be a left-leaning red link like I want it to be, but then I have a problem because these are just there. So what do? Well, I go based off what the parent was. The parent was D, right? So then I just ask myself, well, C comes before D. So I would go to the left of D, and then I would just go down the tree and be like, okay, well, C is greater than B. C comes after B. So it would go to the right. So that's where C would go. I'm just placing them where they belong. And then E comes after D, so it's going to go to the right of D, like so. Then we insert F, which comes after E, so it goes to the right of E. This is a problem because we can't have right-leaning red links. We can't recolor because it's not a triangle, so we have to do one of the rotations. I would want to get this to look like this, so it would have to look something like this. So I'd have to rotate it to get it to look like this, rotate it to the left. But then it still has to be connected to both of these. It's still connected to E, but then the F would just have to also connect. So essentially you're just taking this and rotating it like so. And then remember, you're only focusing on this, so it's not like this is your tree. F is now the parent of E. So parent is the boss now. So based off the parent, F, which is right here, comes after D. So it goes to the right of D, like so. Let me fix this right here. And that's what we have. Now we insert G. It comes after F, so it's going to go to the right of F. We have a triangle where both sides are red, so we can recolor by shifting the red up to the link above it. So these become black, and then the red shifts up to the link above it. But this is still a problem because we can't have right-leaning red links. But notice, triangle. Both sides are red, so I can just recolor by shifting the red up to the link above it, but there is no link above it, so there's nothing to make red. So these just change to black and we're good. Then we insert H. H comes after G, so to the right of G, we insert with the red link. We can't have this because it's a right-leaning red link. we need to make it left-leaning. So I would have to do a rotation. I want this to get like this, so I would have to rotate it to the left so that it becomes like this. It's still connected to G, but it has to be connected to both of the keys it was connected to. So H would have to go this way. So it's really we're rotating to the left. Or in other words, you could just take the whole thing and rotate to the left. So again, remember, I'm only focusing on the two keys connected to this link. So I'm literally just looking at this and I don't even see any of this. But now I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, how do I fix this? Well, first let's fix the H. Then I'm like, well, H is the big boss now because H is the parent now, not G. So based off the parent, I just go and ask myself, well, H, which is right here, is after D. D is here. So I'm going to go to the right of D, and then we have F. F is right here. H comes after, so to the right of F. So H would go here, and then that's how it would be. Then when we insert I is after H, so we go to the right of H. This is beautiful because we see a triangle where both sides are red, so we can recolor by shifting the red up to the link above it. So these become black. By the way, I just moved the G a little bit downwards. And then the red shifts up like so, but this is still a problem because we can't have red-leaning right links. We need to get it to be like this. I can't make it black because I can't recolor because I don't have a triangle with both red sides. So I'm only left with the other two transformations I can do, which are rotations. So again, I only focus on this world. I literally pretend I don't even see this. Like, I really don't see this. How can I get this to be a left-leaning link? Well, I would have to rotate it to the left. And it still needs to be connected to both of the ones that it was connected to, so F and H. It's already connected to F, but then it needs to be connected to H. So I would just have to take this whole thing and rotate to the left. So I would rotate it to the left, like so, and now it's left-leaning. Again, this became the big boss. This became the parent. So I take everything that's connected to this, and then based off of H, I just ask myself, well, H comes after D. H is right here, D's right here, comes after. So it would go to the right. And then that's it. Everything else just follows. And then these two things are just left in the air. Where do they go? Well, you go based off of what the parent was, which was H. So for G, you would just ask yourself, well, is it greater than or less than H? Well, H is right here. G came before, so you would go to the left. Then it's F. G came after F, so it's greater. So you would literally just connect it like this to the right of F. Then for I, again, based off the parent, you start at H. I comes after H, so we just go to the right of H, like so. Then we insert J. J comes after I, so you take I, you always insert with the red link, you have J. This is a problem because you can't have right-leaning red links, you need to get it like this. We can't recolor because I don't see a triangle at all that has both red sides, so I'd have to rotate. Again, I just focus on these two, the ones that this link is connecting to, and I forget about the rest of the world. How could this become this? Well, it would just need to rotate to the left so that it becomes this. And that's great. Now it's connected to I, but it still has to be connected to J, so J also has to rotate to the left. So in other words, you just take the entire thing and rotate to the left like so. And then none of this exists right now. I'm just focused on this. But then I have to insert this whole thing back to my tree. This becomes the big boss. This becomes the parent. So based off the parent, I start at the root. J comes after D. J is all the way over here. D's here. Comes after, so to the right. Then H. H is here. J is here. J comes after H, so to the right. So it would just be right here. Then we move on to K. K comes after J, so it's bigger, so it's going to be here, inserted with a red link. We have a triangle, both sides are red, so we can recolor by shifting the red up to the link above it. So now these both are black. This becomes red. Again, triangle, both sides are red, so we can recolor by shifting the red up to the link above it. So these both become black, but this becomes red. And this is a problem because this is right-leaning red link. We only want left-leaning red link. And I can't recolor because I do have a triangle, but not both sides are red. So I would have to do a rotation. Again, how do I get it to look like this? Well, I would just have to rotate it to the left so it looks like this. And it needs to be connected to the ones that it's connected to right now. So if I rotate it to the left so that it looks like this, it's connected to D but not to H. So this H would also have to rotate to the left so it would look like this. So again, I forget about the rest of the world and I'm only literally looking at this. I would have to rotate this like so. So let's make that an H. And then we have all of the stuff that's left over. The X parent was H. So all you do is you have to know where to place these two. Based off of H, which was the X parent, F comes before H, so it's less than, so it's going to go to the left of H, and then you would just follow. D is the next one. F comes after D, so F is bigger, so it would go to the right. So in other words, all of this goes to the right of D. And then what about J? Based off of its X parent H, J comes after H, so it's bigger, and we don't have any right-leaning red links, only left-leaning red links, and everything's beautiful. And that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next.